not try to sell. This is not Wolf of Wall Street where your buyer has to buy or die. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 10 tactics you can steal to 10x your sales. I personally use this to scale some of my early companies to make $20,000 per week. Do not expect this to work overnight and do not expect a silver bullet here. When I say sales, this is geared towards more outbound B2B sales. This means this is where you reach out and find leads by reaching out to other businesses. Tactic number 1 is email. And yes, emails work if you know what you're doing. You're going to use this to get leads. Figure out who your target company is, then find out who the decision maker or the CEO is in each of these companies. Do not waste your time on middle managers or people who have no power whatsoever. We're going to use a tool called Hunter.io. This is a Chrome extension that helps you figure out people's email pattern. An email pattern is something like firstname.lastname@xyzcompany.com or firstname.lastinitial@xyzcompany.com. There are a bunch of these email patterns out there. There are also a bunch of these other tools that you can use. I'm going to add a resource link below. Be sure to use that on how to find anyone's email. You can grab that. Once you've gotten that email pattern, go to LinkedIn, find your target company, and see who the decision makers are in each of these companies. Then get their name and plug it into your email pattern. Before you send an email, remember the key here is not to spam people. The number one mistake people make is they write a whole paragraph. They add a bunch of links, their calendar link, their sales deck, their pitch deck. You're not going to send this to your friends. Do not send this to high-level people. Keep in mind, your email needs to be short, sweet, and to the point. Also remember, it's like asking a girl to marry you on the first date. It's not going to work. You need to build a connection and a relationship here. Your first email, when you're sending it, is to get to know the other person. All right, tactic number 2, you need to become a master at writing email copy. Most of the emails I read are so ugly, not even a mother will touch it. That's why I'm going to add that email template here in the link below. Be sure to grab it. I'm also going to add this email template here up on the screen. Pause the video, take a screenshot, write it down if you have to, and feel free to play around with it. But remember, the essence of this video needs to be the same. Tactic number 3, follow up, follow up, follow up. Make sure you're following up with people, but do not become annoying or irritating. This is not Wolf of Wall Street where your buyer has to buy or die, because people will block you. Oftentimes people ask me, how many times should I follow up? You should follow up at max 2 times after your first email outreach, and give a gap of 1 week before you send your next email. Use words like, I don't mean to be a pest here, but I'd love to get your advice on XYZ. Or say, I know you're super busy and feel free to refuse. You'll see oftentimes when you give the people freedom to say no, they're more likely to say yes. Tactic number 4, allowing people to block off a time on your calendar. I use a tool called Calendly. This allows me to give people options to block off my time where I'm free. When you're sending out an email, this is the best way to avoid email ping pong or email tag. Oftentimes what's happening when people are not replying back to you, this is the reason. What's happening in the background when somebody's interested, you say, great, let's schedule a time. What time are you free? Now, what's happening is that person's super busy. They have to go to their schedule, see what time's free for them, then suggest a few blocks for you. Then you have to go back to your schedule and then see what's working for you. And if none of these works, then you're wasting a lot of time. Here's the most simple thing. Just insert a link and say something like, I know you're super busy, adding my calendar link here. Let me know if none of these times work for you. Happy to look at your calendar as well. This way, you're not saying my time is important than yours. So now that you sent the email, you added your calendar link, somebody booked a call with you. Congratulations. Tactic number 5 is you need to keep track of all the questions and objections people have towards your product. Make sure you're keeping track of what people are asking so you can come up with a better response for the next time. Do this after every call. Write down what worked, what didn't, and what people are asking in terms of questions. This will help you improve your sales script to move people down the funnel, add answers into your FAQ section on your website, add them to your knowledge base, and you can improve your answers for the next call. Tactic number 6, have a sales script. See what words are working, see what keywords are moving people forward. Refine your script The more people you talk to, the more you know what is working and what's not. Ask specific questions and see what is helping you close. And refine until you have that sales script down to a science. Tactic number 7, hire a good sales manager. I cannot stress how easy this made my job. I hired one salesperson who built the whole sales structure, the commission system. He built the script, who got the leads, and they also ended up closing deals for me. This will be the same person who will bring in other salespeople under him. Remember, all good A players know other good A players. This is a good time to start looking for such people because big tech companies are laying off great people. It's time to scoop them up. I got lucky when I hired my sales manager, and this was at a time when oil and gas market was crashing and they were laying off a lot of great people. Tactic number 8, use a CRM system. You need to have a CRM system so you can keep track of your prospect, potential customers, and leads. When you're starting out, you can even use Google Sheets to keep track of all the people you have talked to. Make sure you're using something that is cloud-based, because what this does is creates transparency. So you can see how many people your sales team has talked to, who have they moved down the pipeline. If somebody is sick, you can pick up where they left off. There's also other tons of CRM systems that you can use like Pipedrive, Zoho, HubSpot. A good CRM system is the one that you use. And you need to make sure your sales team is using it religiously and updating it. Now that you have a sales team, they're keeping track of everything in the CRM system. Tactic number 9 is having goals. And when I say having goals, I don't mean having dumb numbers like you need to make 100 calls per month, send 200 emails, write 300 text messages to the salesperson. What happens then is people start to optimize for those numbers instead of what matters is having revenue. That's why I don't pay people per hour. I have a set monthly fee. If you hire people per hour, they start to count hours. And the whole time they're working, they're thinking like, oh, 3 hours until I get home, 3 hours until I make $1,000. Instead, you should say, you need to reach $50,000 in sales per quarter at a minimum. This is an example. And what happens then is that people start to optimize for revenue. Tactic number 10, know the numbers for your product. In order for you to have a sales team, you should be selling the product for more than $5K a month. Otherwise, you cannot support the sales team. Yes, early on, you might need to offer the product for less, give huge discounts to build traction, get logos, but after that, it should be $5K a month at minimum. Also, when you hire a sales team member, they should be making 3x their salary, which means if they're making $100K a year, they should be bringing in $300K in sales revenue.